people, this is GalacticStorm. Welcome to the show. And today, yep, I got it. I got the Tog II. Yay! And it was part of my Christmas, or not my Christmas, my birthday gift that I got, or for myself. Yep, I bought it for 5,000 gold. And this thing is awesome. I mean, this thing, but looking at it by paper, it looks shitty. It looks like a giant bus, but this thing's awesome. Let me tell you something about it. It has 1400 health, 600 horsepower, which is slow. The speed is horrible, 14 kilometers per hour. The hull armor is 76, 76, 50. Turret armor is 114, 76, and 53, which isn't bad. The damage that you can do with this is 150, 150, 190. Penetration is pretty good, 171, 239, and 38. Turning's pretty bad. This thing, holy crap. Did you know this thing was supposed to be made for trench warfare? Yeah, this thing is originally called the Old Gang. And the people that made this were the people that made the original tanks for the British in World War I. And they were still thinking that trench warfare was still going to be the same, but when this thing was completed in 1942, 1943 I think, this thing was already obsolete. So it was pretty much a scrap project. So let's talk about the pros on this thing. The pros, this thing has a good rate of fire, which is 12 rounds per minute. This can pretty much damage anything, including like an AT-2 or anything that's pretty much good with armor. It's humorous just because of the size of it. The health is pretty big, and it's pretty much like the size of a tier 8, and it has lots of ammo. Cons on this thing are pretty big. It's the largest tank in the game, so it's pretty much big for artillery. It has low damage when it comes to when you penetrate, and that speed, because remember, it's 14 kilometers per hour. The armor on this thing's pretty bad, but that's when the health comes in. And yeah, but I mean, don't even think about talking about the tank when it comes to the armor and the speed. This thing bites in the asshole to anyone that would dare to pretty much take this tank on. It has a 17-pounder gun, and pretty much it cracks everything. It can crack an AT-2, an AT, pretty much all those kind of tanks. And although it does have low damage when it comes to it, this thing is awesome. You can get all the lulls when it comes with this tank, especially when people stare at this. They're wondering, what the fuck is this thing? But I got some nice gameplay for you all, and I hope you guys enjoy. So let the carnage begin. One of the newest added maps, White Park. I think it's been around for like a few months now. 1 month, 2 months. It's been around since I think late February, if I remember. But this isn't like a wide area as if like the other maps. Oh no, this thing's pretty much more crowded with buildings and such. A lot of them are like the fences, the pillars, and some parts of the buildings are pretty much indestructible. Or destructible. But yeah. And now I gotta carry my fat ass around with this Tog. And there's not just one Tog, there's another Tog, but it's in the other side, on the other team. Pretty much with this 14 miles kilometer, this is going to be interesting. And there comes another tank. What looks like, by the sounds of it, or by the looks of it, looked like a Sherman Jumbo. Sherman Jumbos are pretty good when it comes to the shielding, pretty much the armor, and it went down to the other side of the area. I would follow it, but my fat ass wouldn't even control the turning, especially when it comes to this part, and I just got shot. Usually health would be low at this point, but with a Tog, doesn't matter. You got 1400 health, and pretty much well, you can go on and go on, and even if you get destroyed, you pretty much won't have as much to repair, or when it comes to like the silver and such. But usually I come all the way here to the tunnel, because that's where like some of the guys would be at, bad guy wise. And here comes the cavalry. Tog gets his first victim, and it's a Wolverine. Pretty good guns, but paperweight armor. And guess who wins? The Tog. And the Tog got his first victim, and ooh, AT2s. These things are really hard to beat, especially with its really good armor in the front. And pretty much that command hatch I was shooting at took down the AT2. And there's a Churchill by the looks of it. Yeah, Churchill 7. Those things are pretty tough to beat, but will I be able to get it? And no. AT2s are pretty hard to beat, and this guy was no match to it. I think that was a Jackson on low health. Oh well. Couldn't get a shame on steel killing, but there's more victims to go around. And I got destroyed on the tracks. Used my repair kit for it, and there we go. Alright, and there. Oh wait, no, that wasn't a Jackson. This is the Jackson. That small little bastard. Pretty good cannon and decent armor, but not compared to the Tog's cannon. And it falls within its might. I just love this tank. Even though this thing is slow, and it pretty much has crappy armor, only on the hull sides, but the turret's pretty good. The gun is awesome. I mean, it reloads fast. It's pretty much, it can go through anything. I mean, you saw what it did with the AT2. Now, our best bet is to charge down in where the enemies are going to. This is a small map too. I mean, if it took me this long, I mean, I can understand. But anyway, on we go to the enemy base, and we're going around, going down here. That's where the flag's at. But I think there's still some people moving there. But we're gonna have to figure that out anyway. But once I go down here, and when I think it's coming across here that we come across a Panther. Those are pretty strong tanks. And there it is, the Panther. Pretty much, I think it's a tier 7 medium German tank. And they're pretty tough cookies too. And it's trying to beat me on, but I got almost 1400 health. I don't think this guy's gonna beat me. But I keep on trading shots with him. Keep on trading shots, until eventually his health loses onto mine. But took down the driver, and now they're trying to cap the circle on our base. I'm telling them to defend the base, trying to get them down here. But luckily there's like 4 or 5 tanks there just at the enemy's camping circle, and we're quickly getting into the capture. And since they have 3 tanks left, it wouldn't be a problem. I just have to get my fat ass in there just to get like some kind of capture point or something. But eventually we will win this match. And it's slowly ticking down. And then once I reach it, it's pretty much game over. We won. And I think I've gotten 5 kills from that. And a victory hump for me. Loading up, and now it's awesome. Well, it's probably the longest kills I had for the Tog II, 5 kills in a row. Best kill wise, I mean. And I got over 2300 experience with around 68,000 silver due to the repairs. And my only medal, a mastery badge, ace tanker, 99%. So yeah, it was a pretty nice match, but I thought it could be a little bit better. But I'm not complaining. So we wiped out an AT-2, which are pretty much one of the strongest tanks when it comes to armor, a Panther, a Wolverine, a Jackson, and a T1 Heavy. So that's what that third tank was. It was not a Jackson, it was a T1 Heavy. And it doesn't have that much good armor, but it has a good gun. And I did the best on my team. So, alright, let's go on with my other video. I think you'll like this one. Alright, it's Lakeville. You probably remember it from my Cruiser 2 film, which I died interruptedly from that. But this time, it's a lot different. And it pretty much shows how you can do well with a platoon with the Tog. And, yep, this is probably one of my first matches on the Tog. And there's another Tog II with me on the side of the team. So this should be really interesting. But look at the stairs. These are the humors that you can get with this. The Wolverine's probably wondering, what the hell is that thing? I never saw anything that big before. And yeah, I can agree with him. But that's just not me. I was gonna go to this side, but then I noticed something. This guy wanted me to follow him. And it's a Tog II as well. And I was like, what the hell? Tog II Platoon. Well, somewhat Tog II Platoon. And we're gonna be going inside the city as we slowly get our fat asses there. Speed, always a problem. You can always arrive at the party late, but I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it at all. I pretty much told him to wait for me because he's pretty much up ahead more. But then once I catched up with him, then we start to move our way into the town, and there's a loot and a Altelso tier 4 tanks coming this way. We try to blast some shots into them like we should. And this is on the other side of the cliff, so they can't really go anywhere. And there's another side there that they won't get, and they won't be as much trouble. And I think that loot will be coming out there soon. Or it's the Altoso, I don't know. But anyway, we're moving our asses down. And it looks like there's already a party there. And I've been detected, and there's the Altoso. That British tier 4 tank destroyer. And I think I blew up his tracks. And then that finished him off. I think, but I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, him and I are pretty much side by side, like brothers. And this guy, I think it's Punk Man, I think his name was called. Yeah, we're pretty much gonna be sticking together as we approach the town. And we look around just in case there's any more bad guys, and we stick it to that guy. And this is funny that we pretty much turn our turrets around the same way and pretty much at the same time. But anyway, we're slowly still approaching onto the town, and it's already being occupied by our guys, but there's still more of those guys coming in. But eventually our guys are going to be a bit somewhat overrun, and my Punk Man pretty much saw something, and I was trying to look what was going on, and pretty much it was nothing. So we pretty much went down here and I was trying to figure out where we're going, but there's these two guys in the way, a VK and a Wolverine, and we pretty much told them, yo bitches, the Togs are in town. And it's like, move bitch, get out the way, get out the way, bitch, get out of the way. We'll handle this. We've got 2,800 health combined in total. No Churchill is pretty much going to stand up against that. And this Churchill learns the prime example of not messing with a Tog. I mean, yes, this guy may have good armor and decent piercing capabilities, but he's no match for a Tog. And look at this guy. There's another Churchill too. And then there's a Stug. Stugs are nasty. And there's a Hetzer. Although yes, these things can be a pain in the ass, it won't be a pain in the ass with the Tog II. And the Hetzer finds this the hard way. And now we notice that we're going to be capturing the area, but there's 3 guys behind this building. And here we go. We're slowly going to crawl our asses back here. And oop, there comes the other Churchill. And blast off his tracks and get some damage along with it. Try to blast him out too, and here comes a Sherman Jumbo. Sherman Jumbo thinks he has strong armor. Nope, you don't have strong armor. Not against a Tog. And its armor piercing capabilities. I will ignore your shot. And I'll let my friend handle you. Kaboom! And there we go. Pretty much we got the whole area secured. Thanks to me, him, and our togginess. This is why Togs are pretty good in Platoon, and they're so underestimated just because of how slow they are. And their armor. But don't forget about that gun. That gun is pretty good, and it can go for 150 rounds per, or 150 damage per shot. And that's 12, or I think that's 12 rounds per second. But yeah, we pretty much got this area secured, and the only remaining enemies are on the 3rd side, which is not on against the cliffs, but like on the far opposite side of the map. So they won't be that much of a problem. And well, at this time, well, eventually, the guy sent me a friend request, Punkman, with the Tog, and yeah, I accepted his friend request. And we might be doing more togging in the future. Let's go to the end of this so we can show you the results. Alrighty then, time for the results. And pretty much I got 1800 when it comes to experience and 6500 when it comes to the silver. That's a whole lot of silver, and you get a lot more once you get to the higher tiers. Mastery Gunner, Sharpshooter, Mastery Badge, First Class, Sniper, and Steel Wall. So, pretty nice. I got the steel wall from that light tank that was shooting me though. And with him and me, we pretty much conquered that hill. And we blasted a Churchill and the Hetzer, and we took it. I took a beating onto the Churchill and the Sherman Jumbo, but they weren't a match. So it was a pretty nice game, and I got first and he got third. That was pretty cool. So, what should I recommend for this tank? This tank, oh my god, this thing is a barrel of fun. Even though it's big, it has bad armor, and has slow turning and slow speeds. This is probably one of my favorite tanks in the game, just because of the penetration and the damage capability on this thing. Even though, yes, it doesn't have any capabilities, or not capabilities, but like parts for it, this is an awesome tank, even though it's big. I can't believe a company after World War I would want to make something like this, even though they were predicting that it would be trench warfare. But anyway, you might cut my throat or something like this, but for my ranking on this thing, it's a 10 out of 10. I mean, this thing, you'd have to stay near buildings just because of the artillery. You can use the tank itself as a meat shield and protect other allies, and you can spot them for them and they can take it out for you. Use it for good use, because the health on this thing will pretty much absorb all the blows that you can get with many tanks, and they won't really give you as much trouble as you'd think. Choose a path and stay with it just because of the slow speed on this tank. That's why I choose some of those paths when I was going down, like on, what was it, White Park and Lakeville. And get a platoon, because this thing is awesome when it comes with a Tog platoon. When it comes to 2 or 3 Togs in a team, this thing is so underestimated. So yeah, this is GalacticStorm, and I'll see you guys later.